it's like for us kids to live the way we are forced to live. I shouldn't have to walk past dead teenagers on Black Friday shopping at the mall.
We dream too. We have goals too. We're not labels, disadvantaged, underprivileged. We are people who were born black and brown and poor. Our parents were too, and so were our grandparents. They don't pay for our schools, our clothes, our phones. I work 3 jobs so I can fulfill my dreams. We are dying waiting for someone else who doesn't even live this way to decide when and how many resources we need.
I want to know how you see us, because how you see us determines how you treat us. Stop saying what's wrong with those people and start asking us what happened.
Every day, we walk with our brothers and sisters, young and old, who wear masks of pain the world cannot see. Our family survives daily in toxic spaces, wounded, broken, yet resilient. We are without resources to provide basic, healthy living and learning spaces for ourselves and for our children.
We're mislabeled, misunderstood, without the freedom to just be kids.
That's like you can't just be riding your bike around any neighborhood anymore, because you don't gotta be politicking or be gang banging, but it's just the people that you hang around. You don't know who they in tune with, so it's like they see you.
Racism, trauma, and poverty. Just living in our neighborhood affects our mental health. It's why it's hard to stay in school, why we search for family and ending up joining gangs, why we have legacies of addiction and legacies of incarceration instead of legacies of Harvard, Yale, and Princeton.
Our life conditions should have been deemed a public health crisis a long time ago. Black and brown lives have been blanketed by America's institutionalized racial covenants as best practices, redlining strategically manufactured urban poverty, dehumanizing living conditions, underfunded schools, suboptimal delivery of health care, minimal employment opportunities. We internalize this impact, creating a mental sky of unworthiness, invisibility, inferiority, anger, frustration. We bottle it up and search for a way to release it.
The crack cocaine epidemic and gang violence magnified our trauma as we search for pathways of financial relief and for temporary relief of the memories that imprisoned our minds and infected our bodies. This warfare left Del Paso Heights and Strawberry Manors with the dehumanizing social structures, leaving patterns unimaginable. Childhood adversities that almost destroyed our village and family units. Why were we abandoned without any supported resources to help us with the addiction in our neighborhoods?
The casualties of this war are our children. The architecture of the young developing brain were not designed by families talking over dinner, hugs, and bedtime stories.
The brain architecture in their formative years was designed by chronic elevation of toxic stress hormones. We survive in deplorable housing conditions with infestations of roaches and rats, exposed to unhealthy food and drinking water, without spaces to learn. Our children are engulfed in fear, rocked to sleep at night by an orchestra of helicopters, gunfire, sirens, drunken fists, and unwanted hands, or left alone with the deafening silence of abandonment.
Yet we expect the kids to rise in the early morning with empty bellies, without a bath, filthy clothes, ashamed, filled with anxiety and stress. No one at school asking them what happened. They only say, "What's wrong with you?" and expect our children to focus and learn with positive attitudes and social skills never modeled.
Those of us who survive in adulthood become parents without the capacity to parent, without basic skills and desperation to survive. Individual trauma implodes and collective results in an eruption of neighborhood trauma, especially inside an airtight cage of poverty.
When we struggle in silence, our mental health trauma imperceptibly passes generationally.
Our trauma shows up as angry, violent at home or on the street, working the street, failing in school, disruptive in school, cutting school, or cutting ourselves, in prison or dead.
Look at the patterns and the common denominators in our neighborhoods. Understand the mechanisms that create them. Learn the insidious ways in which the daily onslaught of structural racism and chronic toxic adversity undermines learning and impacts mental health, physical health, and socioeconomic mobility. Build relevant and effective strategies to disrupt these devastating patterns. It's not rocket science. It's intentional hard work and how you see us. How you see us determines how you treat us. See our greatness.